For decades, Nancy Guthrie, 84, seemed the quintessential matriarch, devoted, steady, and resilient. Her sudden disappearance from her Tucson, Arizona home has stunned family and community alike. To the world, she was the rock of her family, raising 3 children alone after her husband, Charles, died in 1989. But recent revelations suggest Nancy lived a life far beyond what anyone imagined. A mysterious package arriving at her daughter Savannah's doorstep days after her disappearance has peeled back a layer of secrecy, revealing a hidden world that existed, parallel to the life her family thought they knew. A pillar of strength. After Charles's sudden death, Nancy became the anchor for her family. She worked part-time as a bookkeeper, volunteered at her church, and created a home that balanced stability with warmth. Friends and neighbors recall her grace under pressure, her humor, and her quiet determination. She instilled in her children a sense of faith, humor, and unshakable resilience. Savannah often credited her mother for shaping her work ethic and perseverance. To outsiders, Nancy was the ultimate widow and devoted mother, unflappable and unwavering. Yet, even rocks have hidden cracks, and Nancy's carefully maintained facade concealed a secret life few could have anticipated. The first clue. The first sign that Nancy's life was not as simple as it seemed came in a plain envelope, delivered to Savannah's New York home 5 days after her mother vanished. Inside was a faded photograph, Nancy, much younger, smiling beside a man unfamiliar to the family, outside a cafe in Santa Fe, New Mexico. The back of the photo bore a cryptic message: "Ask about Elena." Her children were stunned. The date on the photo, 1992, placed it 3 years after their father's death. This single image became the key to unlocking decades of secrecy and introduced a hidden side of Nancy that her family had never known. Meeting Victor Ramirez, Nancy's alternate life began in 1991 during a rare solo trip to Santa Fe for a church retreat. Still mourning her husband, she met Victor Ramirez, a 45-year-old artist and gallery owner who had fled political unrest in Mexico City during the 1980s. Victor's world was vibrant and unrestrained, a stark contrast to the structured life Nancy led in Tucson. Their shared experiences of loss sparked a deep connection. What began as friendship blossomed into a long-term, clandestine relationship. Nancy returned home changed, but buried her feelings, unwilling to disrupt her children's lives or tarnish the memory of her late husband. The birth of Elena. To maintain her Tucson life while exploring this new world, Nancy assumed a secret identity: Elena. Under this name, she assisted Victor in running his gallery, occasionally exhibiting her own artwork. Elena represented a version of Nancy the world never saw, free-spirited, expressive, and unbound by duty or social expectation. While Nancy in Tucson maintained her maternal composure, Elena reveled in artistic and intellectual freedom. Late-night gatherings, philosophical debates, and impromptu fiestas became her escape. The duality allowed her to experience life fully in ways she had suppressed, but it came at the cost of secrecy, anxiety, and emotional distance from the family she loved. Weekend escapes. Nancy's weekends became carefully orchestrated trips to Santa Fe. She told her children she was visiting friends from church or attending retreats, while secretly tending to the gallery in her life as Elena. Over the years, she established financial independence in the city, opening a small bank account under her alias to support Victor's work. These trips, Initially brief escapes evolved into a parallel life that spanned decades. To her children, Nancy remained steadfast and dutiful. To the Santa Fe circle, Elena was adventurous, warm, and spirited. Her compartmentalization was perfect, her secret meticulously maintained, leaving only traces of a life she kept just for herself. Balancing two worlds, by the mid-1990s, as Savannah began her journalism career, Nancy's hidden life deepened. She juggled motherhood and her double identity with remarkable precision, funneling small amounts of her income to Victor's gallery and building a social life entirely separate from Tucson. Elena became not only a creative outlet, but a sanctuary for personal fulfillment. She explored interests she had set aside, nurturing friendships and engaging in artistic communities. Despite the secrecy, Nancy rationalized her choices, believing her children's well-being outweighed the truth. Yet the emotional strain of this dual existence was constant, weighing on her health and her relationships with those she loved most. Discovery and confusion. The arrival of the photograph forced Nancy's children to confront the impossible. Their mother had lived a parallel life for 3 decades. Savannah, Annie, and Cam grappled with shock and confusion. Questions about Victor, Elena, and the motivations behind her disappearance loomed large. Social media news outlets exploded with speculation. Secret lovers, blackmail, or a midlife rebellion? For the first time, Nancy's public image as a steadfast, selfless mother collided with the private reality of her passionate, secret life. The revelation exposed the tension between duty and desire, love and secrecy, leaving the family and the public struggling to reconcile the two. Victor in Santa Fe, Victor Ramirez, Nancy's secret partner, became the focal point of both fascination and concern. His gallery, temporarily closed due to media attention, had long been a hub for artists, writers, and children's programs under Elena's guidance. Locals remembered her generosity and creativity, unaware that this Elena was their Nancy. Investigators began tracing phone records, recanvass neighbors, and interview Victor's acquaintances. The photograph and cryptic messages hinted at deeper intrigue, potentially involving a blackmail attempt, or someone from the Santa Fe community. The duality of her life made the case complex, blurring the lines between a voluntary disappearance and an external threat. Legacy of strength. Nancy Guthrie's story, revealed piece by piece, underscores the complexity of human experience. She was simultaneously the devoted mother and the passionate, liberated woman she became as Elena. Her children's admiration for her resilience now coexists with feelings of betrayal and curiosity. For Savannah, the revelation offers insight into her own composure and strength, traits inherited from a mother who navigated profound grief while creating an unseen life. Nancy's life challenges perceptions of morality, loyalty, and identity, leaving an indelible mark on her family, community, and anyone grappling with the tension between duty and self-expression. Unanswered questions. The circumstances of Nancy's disappearance remain mysterious. Blood drops in her home suggest foul play, while the absence of theft points to a personal motive. Was she targeted by a jealous rival, blackmailer, or someone from her hidden world? Or did she attempt to flee her secrets voluntarily? Investigators continue to probe connections between Tucson and Santa Fe, tracing leads and tips that may reveal the truth. Nancy's decades-long balancing act of two lives complicates the narrative, leaving both family and authorities to decipher a story that is part mystery, part human drama and entirely extraordinary. Conclusion: Nancy Guthrie's life was a masterclass in duality, the devoted matriarch in Tucson and the free-spirited Elena in Santa Fe. For 30 years, she juggled duty, grief, creativity, and love, leaving a legacy that is at once inspiring and confounding. Her disappearance has not only exposed hidden dimensions of her own life, but also reshaped her children's understanding of identity, loyalty, and resilience. The investigation continues, but the story of Nancy/Elena serves as a profound reminder: even the most ordinary-seeming lives can hide extraordinary truths, and sometimes the people we think we know best are the ones with the most secrets.